Hello, world. My name is Stephen Walker, and welcome to A Walker in the Woods. I will be talking about this little baby shortly. Put it over here. But today is my 12th day on Carnivore and my 22nd day of the MOVEmber challenge. Today is the 22nd of November here in Korea, and it is 3:12 in the afternoon. Just got back from the gym and feeling good. Observations again, got to go down below. This morning, number two, still very small. Last night, if you saw my last video that I did 2 days ago, I bought a big old ribeye, and I was able to cut that into proper steaks, about, I don't know, about an inch or so thick, and I got 18 steaks out of that. So I think the if I divide the price by 18, it came to be about 11 US dollars per steak. And I had a steak with some butter last night. That was it. I weighed myself this morning, and I'll share the metrics with you after we talk about this. So what is this? This is a water distiller, and if you've never owned one, I recommend getting one. They're not that expensive. This one I think was about $120 on Amazon, shipped all the way over here to South Korea. And if you don't know what a water distiller is or what distilled water is, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Not too much in depth, but I can give you a few people that can definitely give you more information about it. I've got a book over here on my bookshelf by a man who is kind of the guru of fasting, and he also promotes distilled water. So I'm going to share my screen and my PPT, and then we'll talk about what distilled water is and what it can do for your body. All right, so here we are with my PPT. I use PPTs because I am a teacher, and this is how I convey information easily. It might be boring for some of you, but this keeps me on track. So this is the MOVEmber challenge. Today is the 12th. I will talk about distilled water and then my in-body fit metrics. So what is distilled water? Uh, Basically, it's purified water, and distilled water comes in four different ways, four different sources from what I understand. You can either distill it using one of these machines. It's all rainwater is also distilled. Snow, rain, dew, fog, that's all Mother Nature. That's distilled. From what I understand, the water in fruit, such as oranges and apples, is distilled. Again, nature. And the fourth one is urine. Yes, urine. Pee. That is also distilled. But at home, if you want to make your own, you can buy one of these machines. And again, as I said, you can get it anywhere from $100 up to many hundreds of dollars, depending on the size and how much you need to or want to make. But just I Googled this yesterday, and this is some information just from Mr. Google. So it says salts, minerals, and other organic materials are removed by collecting the steam from boiling water. So again, if we look at this machine, I'll stop sharing and I'll show the inside soon. But it's made by boiling water, collecting the steam, then condensing the steam back into liquid form. This process removes more than 99.9% of dissolved minerals and other impurities. Okay, so again, this machine, if you unplug this, and then there's another plug that goes into the circuit, into your wall, and you just pop the lid off. I just got done making some, so it's hot. But this is the fan on the top, and then If you take this off, you can see a coil, and the coil wraps up around, and this plugs into the basin, and this holds about 4 liters. And so it has a hot plate down below and it boils the water. So as the water boils, the steam rises, goes up through the tubes, it condenses and then collects out of the spout. It basically drips out of this spout and it goes into a 4 liter glass jug. And this comes with the unit as well. And so I actually do go through between 3 and 4 liters a day. And I have been doing so for quite a long time. And then if you look in here, that is the bottom of, I haven't cleaned this in probably a week or two, maybe 2 weeks. I'll clean it, and I usually use a steel brush. They also give you a solvent that you can use. That just you just plug it in and boil it without the fan, and it'll dissolve all of this. But this down here, this is mineral. All of that comes from boiled water. So I get the water out of the tap in my kitchen or out of the tap in the bathroom. And so, yeah, every 2 weeks or so, I clean that. It's stainless steel on the inside. And you also, some of them give you a TDS meter. And a TDS meter is basically total dissolved solvent, I believe. Total dissolved solvents. So this one here, it basically has 2 little prongs that reads how many solvents, particulates are in the water. So I'll turn this one on. And here I have a glass. This glass came from my kitchen sink. So I'm going to stick this in here and I'll show. This says 32. So that's 32 parts. 32 parts per million, I believe. ppm, parts per million. 32. And then this glass here, this glass came from my refrigerator. I have a dispenser on the front that's filtered. And so let's take a look at this one. And uh, that one says 35. 34, 35, 34. Let's go back to this one. This is from the sink. That says 35. And this one says, this is from the refrigerator. Now it says 36. And then this glass over here came from my distilled water. Try it again. Let's dry it out a little bit. Okay. It said 5. Let's do it again. 4. Of course, when I'm recording, the thing doesn't want to work. One more time. Now it says 0. We'll try it a little bit later. I'm going to continue with my screen. I'll leave this. I'll let this dry out a little bit, and then we'll try it at the end. and see if it works better. Isn't it always the way? You plan and plan and plan. Here is a man, if you have not heard of him, his name is Andrew Norton Webber, and he was quite popular about 10, 15, 20 years ago in the distilled water community. And then he kind of went silent. Uh, I think he got a lot of hate. He also got probably some backlash from the no-see-ums. Maybe someone behind the curtain talked to him, but you can still find some of his videos. I just Googled his name today. I hadn't listened to him in a while, but I had often listened to him on hikes. You can find interviews with him that he has done over the years. He talks about the benefits and the healing properties of distilled water. And so Andrew Norton Webber is someone that I recommend. Is he a doctor? No. Do you have to be a doctor to know nutrition? No. Do doctors know nutrition? No. So again, using your own discretion, you can check this guy out. This is a recommendation that I would probably number one from all of the hours that I've listened to him. And then a little bit more information. So this is just from, again, Uncle Google. Some things to know about distilled water. Minerals. Distillation removes natural minerals and electrolytes found in water, such as calcium, magnesium, sodium, fluoride, potassium, iron, and zinc. True distilled water is 0 parts per million. It is pure H2O. So there shouldn't be no minerals of any sort in that water. And I think that you can even stick electric current into the water and not get shocked, because there is nothing in there to carry the charge. Safety. Now, this is the CDC that says that distillation is effective at removing bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and chemical contaminants. Distilled water adheres to and pulls out the bad stuff, as well as minerals, inorganic. From what I've understood, the organic, your body is organic, and the organic, the good stuff that's organic in your body, the water leaves it alone. But it pulls out the inorganic. And the way that I was taught is, if you think of a river, and if the river is low, the water is low in that river, is the water moving fast or slow? It's moving slow. Now, if it rains, and rain again is distilled water, but that doesn't matter in this scenario. But when the river is full, the water moves faster, and what happens when it is moving out to sea, it is pulling all of the debris from the banks of the river and pulling it out into the ocean eventually. So if you take that scenario and talk about your body as if your body is a river, when you start getting the river flowing, you start drinking 2 liter, 3 liter, possibly 4 liters of water a day, and you're going to the bathroom, and that distilled water is coursing through your body, what is it going to be doing? But basically, opposites attract. So that distilled water is going to want to glom on to something and hold on to it and ultimately pull it out of your body. The taste. According to Uncle Google, it says distilled water has a flat taste because it lacks minerals. I disagree. I think the water has actually kind of a fluffier taste than here's the refrigerator. Now that's definitely a heavier, not sharp, but you can tell something's in there. This has a heck of a lot of taste, and this is out of the sink. I don't know if I've ever even drank out of the sink before. And again, this is distilled water. There is very little taste, which I guess you can describe as flat. It's smooth, like a fine whiskey, minus the alcohol. pH. So distilled water has a pH of about 5.8, which is slightly lower than neutral. And then drinking. Drinking distilled water should not make you deficient in minerals because you already get most of the minerals you need from your diet. When you buy all of these bottled waters that say, oh, it's a mineral water and all. Now, can your body, what are minerals? Basically, minerals are rock. Do you think your body can digest and utilize rocks if you eat them? So if they're very, very minute in the water and you drink it, how is the body, be it big or small, how is the body going to be using those minerals? Generally, from what I understand, again, I'm not a doctor, but they'll just pass through you. You're basically buying something that you really don't need because you do get the minerals out of the organic foods that you eat. And then they go on to say, if you're going to drink distilled water, it's a good idea to make sure that you get your recommended daily servings of fruits and vegetables. No, thank you. I'm going to go with meat and butter and water. And so far, so good. I made it all the way through the 2020 fiasco without the help of Fauci and Papa Trump, the father of the jab. And so I said, no, thank you. And I was not sick once. Not once. So I am still 100% who I was before 2020 and after. Let's take another look here. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's take a look here again. I'll turn it on. 0. It is submersed in the water. It's submersed in the water, and it says 0. Sink, 35, 36. Refrigerator, now it says 37. So the fridge is actually has more ppm than the sink. That's concerning. And now zero. 100% pure H2O. Fluffy. I have one more guy that I want to talk about, and this is Paul Bragg. He's basically the father of fasting. He lived to a very long old age. I believe he was in his 90s. Still surfed. Did a lot of hikes across Death Valley. If you ever fast, this is an awesome book. But chapter 6 is why I drink only distilled water, and I'm going to read this page for you. So, go get yourself a nice warm cup of distilled water, and I'll read this. It shouldn't take too long. Why I drink only distilled water. When I refer to fasting in this book, I constantly make the statement, eat absolutely no food and drink distilled water exclusively. Distilled water is pure H2O, which means it's a compound of 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. If you drink rainwater or the fresh juices of fruits and vegetables, remember that all of this liquid has been distilled by Mother Nature. If you drink rainwater or snow water, there are no inorganic minerals in it. It is 100% mineral free. If you drink fruit and vegetable juices, you are drinking distilled water plus certain nutrients such as fruit, sugars, organic minerals, and vitamins. But if you drink lake, river, well, or spring water, you are drinking undistilled water plus the inorganic materials that the water has picked up. Some of this water is known as hard water, meaning it has high inorganic mineral concentrations that can cause health problems. That is an example of hard water. That is all of the mineral uh, residue after distilling for every day, almost every day, for about 2 weeks. Now, he says, let me give you a short lesson in chemistry. There are two kinds of chemicals, inorganic and organic. The inorganic chemicals are inert, which means that they cannot be absorbed into the tissues of the body. Inorganic cannot be absorbed into the body. Our bodies are composed of 16 organic minerals, which all come from that which is living or was alive. When we eat an apple or any other fruit or vegetable, that substance is living. Each has a certain survival time after it has been picked before spoiling. We prefer the vegetarian diet, but the same applies to animal foods, fish, milk, cheese, and eggs if you eat them. And then he goes on, hard inorganic minerals cause problems. I'll just read a little bit here. The first paragraph. Organic minerals are very organic. Organic minerals are very vital in keeping us alive and well. If we were cast away on an uninhabited island where nothing was growing, we would starve to death, even though the soil beneath our feet contains 16 inorganic minerals. Our bodies could not absorb them. Only a living plant has the power to extract inorganic minerals from the earth. No human can extract the nourishment from inorganic minerals. So basically, again, as I said, if you buy bottled water, all of those minerals in there are inorganic. The only way that you can absorb minerals is if it is organic, and that is through fruit, vegetable, meat, dairy, cheese. And then I'll skip this part, but over here he says millions drink rainwater. And we know that rainwater has, well, these days it's difficult to get pure rainwater. The next page, distilled water is best for your health. He goes on, Bragg family uses only distilled water. And again, Paul Bragg, if you know, I don't have it here, but they do amino acids and they also do apple cider vinegar. I think the company was sold, so I don't think it is as pure as it once was. And then here he has 10 common sense reasons why you should only drink pure distilled water. The body is made up of 70% water. Therefore, don't you think that you should be particular about the type of water you drink to maintain your body? The Navy. The Navy has been drinking distilled water for years. That makes sense. They're out there on the ocean. The ocean is salt water. What are they going to be drinking? They're going to be drinking distilled water. Distilled water is chemical and mineral free. The body does need minerals, but it is not necessary that they come from water. There is not one mineral in water which can be found more abundantly in food. There is not one mineral in water which cannot be found more abundantly in food. Water is an unreliable source of minerals because it varies from one area to another. Distilled water is used for intravenous feeding, inhalation therapy, prescriptions, and baby formulas. Thousands of water distillers have been sold throughout the United States and around the world to individuals, families, dentists, doctors, hospitals, nursing homes. Saline solution. That would be distilled water with salt, I guess. And finally, he says, with all the chemicals, pollutants, and other impurities in our water, it only makes good common sense. You should clean up your water. You should drink Mother Nature's inexpensive way through distillation. This is a very, very, very good book if you are interested in fasting. It's the miracle of fasting forever, proven throughout history for physical, mental, and spiritual rejuvenation. Paul Bragg. And then Patricia Bragg was his daughter. She also lived to be a ripe old age, and she recently passed away, sadly. And then I believe that their company was sold. I can't remember who it was sold to, but I think that the they actually had an anti Big C protocol, the Bragg Big C protocol, in which they advocated for a lot of fruit, kind of a vegetarian, and a lot of coffee enemas. But now that I'm into the carnivore, and the name is escaping me, but he works for Boston. He's a teacher, a professor there, and he talks about basically cutting all sugars and keep getting the mitochondria healthy. So here are a look at my metrics from this morning. And I stepped on the scale at 7:21 in the morning. And my fit score kind of skyrocketed, really, for how much it has fluctuated throughout the last 20 some days. I almost hit 800. And I believe this is the fit score here. Yes. So I'm basically working my way back up. But my weight is this morning was 92.5, which is up zero point 0.1. And I believe I was 91.6 after my 10-day fast. So in the last 12 days, I gained about just under 1 kilo. And I'm eating to satiation twice a day. This morning I had 5 eggs and some bacon. And then I also had a couple beef sticks. And then tonight I'm going to make a ribeye with some butter. And that will be it for the day. So the weight isn't going down, even though I've been on this BBB&E for 12 days. But I believe that after a 10-day fast and then re-feeding with protein, the body is trying to figure out if I'm honest or not. It's like, okay, when are we getting the beer? When are we getting the pizza, the carbs? Or are we gonna make do with all of this protein, and then we're gonna be happy and then be allowed to release some of this weight? Because I think the body's probably holding on to the weight just in case the same old comes along down the road. So my weight is maintaining, and I'm happy that it's not going up, but it's kind of just keeping even so far. The BMI went up only 0.1 from 2 days ago. The skeletal muscle mass, 41.3. That went up almost 1 kilogram. Soft lean mass, 68.2, which went up over 1 kilo from 2 days ago. The kilocalorie, the basal metabolic, that went up, but is still down from day 1 of November. And then percent body fat. Now I like to see this one. The percent body fat is 22.2, and that went down 1.3. So that's going in a good trajectory. The body fat mass also went down So I started out at 24.5 and now I'm down 20.5. That's 4 kilo. The visceral, and this is a very happy morning when I saw the number 9. 9 is my lucky number. And so if it sticks around 9 for a while, I'll be very happy. And I finally broke that plateau here. Pyojun means regular or okay, and Pyojun Isang is over the limit. And I believe 10 is right on the line. So 9, I just dropped below for the first time since I've had the machine. The waist hip ratio also dropped, be it just by point, I don't know, what is that, 0.01. But I finally broke below that one, below the 1. So all of these numbers, I'm actually quite happy. If they're legit and I can believe this machine, I'm very happy with the numbers and how they're going. And then tomorrow is Saturday. I'm going to watch a football game, my old high school, online. They're playing. If they win tomorrow, they're going to state, and then this will be the 5th time that they'll go to state in 6 years. They did not go last year. They lost the semifinal. So go Andale High School. If anybody out there from Andale is listening, I'm very proud of that team and the young men that play the game. They're they're exceptional. So as always, I'm going to end with a quote, and this is from Leonardo da Vinci, from what I understand. Hopefully it is. If not, it's still a great quote. Water is the driving force of all nature. Water is the driving force of all nature. Time, wind, and water can wear down mountains, create caverns, canyons, and time and water in the body can also make huge changes. Again, if we're 70% water, it's important what kind of water we're putting in our body. And from my research and anecdotal evidence, because I've been on this machine that I have, this is I think my 3rd or 4th distilled water making machine. I bought one for my sister. I have one in my office. I have one in my home. And I think only one finally burned out. So I've bought 4 of these puppies over the years, and only one finally burned out. Very happy with it. It's quiet. It's not an energy hog. And again, if you have a family of 4 liters, it probably takes about 5 hours once it heats up to make 4 liters of water. My machine. Other machines might be different. So I recommend going online, doing some research, watching Andrew Norton Weber, reading Paul Bragg. You can even go online and probably get a PDF of his book. And don't believe anything I say. Do your own research and think about it. And until next time, cheers. And it's also a good habit to talk to your water. Water holds memory, health, happiness, longevity, love. Ciao for now.